In a previous sales role, I worked on a sales team where nearly everybody on my team lied, cheated, stole, committed fraud against the company in order to make money, hit their quota. Some got to president's clubs because of it. Leadership knew about it, did absolutely nothing to curtail it. In fact, they pretty much encouraged it. A week ago, I talked about a past sales role that I had where I worked in this sales role for a year, 12 months, and every month I was in this job, I missed my quota. I went a perfect 12 for 12, and I was the worst performing rep every single month for 12 months out of 60 total reps in my division. This is the same exact company I am talking about. So the culture at this company, the sales culture at this company is something to say the least. Anyway, I've never sold anything before. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's one of my first days. I'm super excited, a little bit nervous. And on this day, I'm going out to door knock with two veterans in my office who have been at the company for 3 years and 5 years. If you've been in the role north of a year, you're considered a veteran. So these guys, and that tells you a lot about that specific job. So these guys were very successful President's Club recipients. They've been doing it a long time. I'm super excited. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never door knocked before. This is going to be super exciting to see how these guys do it so I can replicate this, put my kind of spin on it, and get the President's Club and hit my quota, make a lot of money. I'm 22 years old. This is going to be great stuff. Anyway, I'm in the car with these two guys. I'm in the back seat. The driver turns to the passenger at a red light and says, "Hey, Chris, you know Matt, his dad works here. I hope he doesn't snitch on us." That's exactly what he said. And I'm sitting in the back seat and I'm thinking, what can I possibly snitch on them for? What's going on here? And I interject and I say, "Hey guys, I'm cool. I'm not gonna tell my dad anything. I'm not a tattletale. Whatever we do out here, it stays out here." But as we're driving, I'm like, what are these guys talking about? So obviously, red flag, very suspicious, and within 20 to 30 minutes of parking our car and door knocking a few businesses, I realized why they said it. Not to provide much detail or too much detail into what they were doing, because it doesn't really matter exactly what they were doing, but in our roles, in my role as a salesperson in this position at this company, I was tasked with selling new accounts. So selling basic internet, TV, phone lines to businesses that did not have my company's service. Now, what these guys were doing, what these two President's Club winners, top performers were doing, who got praised by our leadership constantly, they found a loophole in the system. Basically, they committed fraud, and they were able to sell brand new services to current customers. So they were closing new deals that weren't new deals whatsoever. They weren't selling anything at all. And this is my first day, or one of my first days in the role, and I'm thinking to myself as I got home that day, damn, if I have to do this to be successful, I'm gonna have to quit and find another sales gig or do something completely different than sales. Because if this is what I have to do to be successful, if this is what you have to do in sales to be successful, there's no way I'm doing that. I'm not slumming down to their level. It's unethical. I'm not throwing my morals and values away for a couple bucks and to hit my quota and be successful. I'm not doing that. But I knew there was other people on the sales team that were also successful, and they've been with the company for a little bit. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go ride along with those two guys anymore. They're complete jokes. I'll go right along with these 2 to 3 other guys. And it was the same case. It was the same exact case. And the worst part about it all, I already mentioned it, the worst part about it all for me, guys, was my direct sales manager knew about it, and my director knew about it. In fact, rumors had it that they got their positions because they were successful, because they did exactly what these guys were doing. And it was super frustrating. I lost sleep over this. I still think about this. I don't know why. I probably shouldn't. But I still think about how annoying this was, that I had to sit in a sales meeting daily with my sales manager and the other people on my team, and every morning we pulled up the results, where we stood for that month, And I always saw my name at the bottom of the list. Either had no sales or 2 to 3 sales. I had no chance to hit my quota. And the other 7 or 8 reps on my team were killing it, were top performers, were called out on company-wide calls because they were cheating. They were lying. They were committing fraud. They had 0 sales skills whatsoever. They never door knocked. They never set meetings. They never cold called. They did absolutely nothing. All they did was lie, cheat, steal, and commit fraud. And every single person knew about it in the company. And I just bit my tongue. I didn't bring it up. I'm 22 years old, guys. Everyone's older than me. I didn't think it was my position to bring it up. I'm not a tattletale. But I have to sit in meetings with my director and my manager who are on me constantly, micromanaging me. And I wasn't successful. I didn't make any money, guys. I was making like $30,000 a year. I was making no money whatsoever. I had no idea what I was doing. I was not a skilled salesperson. I sucked at the job. But these people sucked too. But it looked like they were great because they were lying, cheating, and committing the fraud here. One of the guys got caught, and big time fraud. He was actually prosecuted against. He's actually still in the industry. Interesting stuff. And another guy, interesting character, he got caught as well. They brought him in, and they tried to get him to flip on other people on my team and in the division. He actually was not a snitch, and he just took the blame, took the fall, and the other people on my team continued to do what they were doing, lying, cheating, stealing, committing fraud. And for me, I'm not mad at them at all. Guys, I'm really just pissed off at the company, and most importantly, I'm pissed off at my direct manager and my director. 2 awful leaders, 2 of the worst leaders I will probably ever encounter in my entire life. And if either of you are watching this video, you suck at your jobs. Absolutely suck. And the director, not the manager. My manager was a good person. My director, awful, awful human being. Absolutely awful. And they knew about it, and basically they just encouraged it because they praised these guys and they knew exactly what was going on because they did the exact same thing. And every single morning I had to go into a stupid sales meeting and they would bitch and moan about me and my lack of sales. They never helped me. They never helped increase my skills. All they did was complain about how sucky I was at the job. I lasted in this job for a year, and then I finally got out. And before I got out, I really considered if sales was for me. Because like I said, guys, this was my first exposure to sales. In a sales job where I was actually trying to sell. I sucked at it. I didn't make any money, and everyone else who was making money, who was successful, was cheating, lying, stealing, committing fraud. That was what I thought I might have to do to be successful. And of course, that wasn't the case. My dad, who's my mentor, he's been in sales his entire career. He's been extremely successful. He's never done any of that shit to be successful. And I considered just getting out of sales altogether because I didn't know or didn't think I could do it because of how poorly, how bad I was. I was really, really bad. But I guess the point of the video here is I will never, ever slum down, get into the slums, throw my values and morals away in order to make a buck, in order to hit a quota, in order to close a deal. Karma is a bitch, and I still follow these people on LinkedIn, and I would say once a quarter, on a Friday afternoon, maybe I just closed a big deal. I'll go check out how they're doing in their careers. And most of them are not doing all that great. Most of them are not doing all that great, and it's not surprising because things tend to come around. And just don't ever, what do I want to say here, guys? Just don't lose yourself in order to be successful. Don't throw your values, morals, ethics away. And if you are in a situation like I was in, and I do regret this, if this was me now, there's no way I would be biting my tongue. I would be speaking up. I would be very vocal to my sales manager about what is going on. Now, I'm not telling on people, but if you're going to get on me about my lack of sales, and you know that other people are cheating, you're full of shit and you're an awful leader, awful sales manager. Anyway, I have tons of stories. Unfortunately, I've been in a lot of different sales roles. I've worked for a lot of different people, most of which were not all that great. The person I work for now is absolutely outstanding, and it is the biggest reason why I have been successful the last 3 years. It's the biggest reason why I love my job. I love going into work on a daily basis. So I got lots of stories. We'll have lots more story time videos like this in the future. Again, do not ever throw your values, morals aside for your sales job because other people are doing it. Just because other people are doing it, other people are making president's clubs and hitting their quota because they're full of shit. They have no idea how to sell. We all know at the end of the day what it is. All know at the end of the day what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. Like this video, subscribe, and look out for these videos on a monthly basis. Appreciate you watching.